Alright, so substitution. So what we're doing with substitution is basically we need the skills so that we can apply it with our three variable systems later today. So first thing we want to do is when I set this up, I'm looking at what's the easiest way to solve this problem. So the first thing I'm looking at is I see this as y is all by itself for the most part. So I'm going to solve for y for this first equation. So the thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this up, and I'm going to move my 4x. So I'm going to subtract it to the other side. I'm going to have it over here. I'm going to cancel these out, and then I'm going to bring this negative y down. I'm going to set this up just like what we have here. And the first thing I notice is I have this negative. So it's like a -1, so I'm just simply going to divide -1 to everything here. So that way it cancels it out, and I now have a positive y. Negative over negative makes this a positive 4x. Negative over negative makes this also a positive 16. So I have my y solved for it. So what I'm going to do next is within my equation, I'm going to create another color so you guys can see this color coding here. I have 7x plus 5, and I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to create my parentheses, and I know my y is going to now represent this part. So 4x plus 16, and then I'm going to rewrite the rest. So equals -1. So the first thing I want to take a look is I'm going to distribute. I'm going to multiply these parts here, bring down my 7x, 5 times 4x, well now I have a 20x, 5 times 16, so now I'm going to have 0, carry the 3, so I'm going to have 80, so a large number here. So what's going to happen is 7x plus 20x, I'll get 27x, and then from here I'll have a positive 80 equals -1. So what's going to happen, my next step, I'm going to subtract 80 to both sides, and then after that I'm going to have a 27x equals same sign, I'm going to add, so -81. So how many times, I'm going to divide my 27 to both sides, so how many times can 27 go into this -81? So the answer what we'll have is this is negative, so I'll have a -3 times here. Okay, so that's our x value. So now I'm going to look at one of my original equations, and this is what we did last week, is it doesn't matter which one I pick, but I'm going to pick the easier looking one. So that first one looks a little bit easier, so I'm just simply going to take my 4x minus y equals -16, and now I know what my x is, so I'm simply just going to do 4 parentheses -3, and that's what's coming in here. I'm replacing that x in order to solve for y. Next part, -12, -y, -16. So I'm going to add this 12 over here. What's going to happen is -y equals, since they're opposites, I'm going to subtract, so that's going to give me a -4 here, since that 16, I have more than negatives here. Same thing, I'm not going to just divide this -1 just like so. And then what's going to happen is now y is going to equal a positive 4. So that means my solution for this, my x is -3, my y is 4, and that's my answer for the system using substitution. Okay.